Good morning.
Good morning.
David.
Did you think about wearing the Beat Philadelphia t-shirt today, or was that not in your...
No, we're good. We're focused on being the best that we can be.
Do you find that amusing? That
It'd be a hell of a t-shirt if anybody wants to go for it.
You've never worn the other team's logo on a t-shirt, I think.
Oh, shoot. Now, hey, one thing about this business, there's a lot of neat t-shirts they give you. So I'm trying to be fair here. I'm sure I have some t-shirts that have other teams' names on it that, but as a focal point. But no, we're focused on what's in front of us. We got enough internally to work on. So that's our focus.
How did Gregory look? He's coming back from COVID and conditioning.
I thought he looked really good. He just actually really jumped out, as far as numbers of reps, and really worked them in the individual part of practice yesterday, which is we feel, I personally feel it's always important to get the fundamental reps back, particularly when the guy misses time. So I thought he had a really good day yesterday.
You guys weren't looking for a receiver, obviously, in the first round with what you guys have, but what were your thoughts on Devontae Smith?
I mean, he's a special player. I mean, I think, clearly his success in college at University of Alabama speaks for itself. And, I mean, he's as good as advertised. He has really good video in the first 2 weeks. And actually, we've even used some clips from his time at Alabama in his profile tape. So he's a fine receiver.
First home game for Dak since the injury. How much of a boost will it be to see him out there on that home field leading that offense again?
Oh, I mean, it's important anytime Dak is out there. I mean, he's the face of our football team, but from the offensive perspective, we're different on offense when he's in charge. So this is a game we're all looking forward to. I know he's looking forward to it, and but really to get that second win, get that home win, get that first division win, and that's really the tightness of how we're looking at this. These division games are so important, all the way through. Who's the biggest rival and all that. I get it. I've been there, done that, but this is a very important game because of what the division brings to you. The numbers speak for themselves. The success you have in the division obviously directly relates to your playoff opportunity.
Last year was, again, such an odd year, but it was your first year through the division. Is it a little different going through your second year with teams that you face twice a year? But again, this division's kind of been thrown upside down with all the new staffs too.
Well, it needs to be. I mean, clearly in touch with our division record last year, but I mean, these division games are what every staff puts more time into. You have off-season studies. The players are in tune with who they're competing against. I mean, I know I said this yesterday. This is the total. Week 2 was an uncommon opponent in the Chargers. Now this is a common opponent. So, there's just different characteristics to go into these games. So they know us, we know them, and they have the little benefit of the newness of a new staff in all three phases. But it's still week 3 too, so there's going to be newness to what we're doing too. So we're still in that unscouted region of a season, which usually operates through the whole month of September. So I think it'll be a great contest Monday night.
Zeke mentioned yesterday that every week Kellen's bringing in new creative unorthodox trick plays. When he's coming up with these things, what's the process? Is he running them by you? Is it let's do this in practice? Okay, here are 5. Which 2 do you like best? How do y'all go about it?
We don't run trick plays. Yeah, I mean, it's we have a menu of things, and Kellen does an excellent job of that, the teaching part of it. But all things with scheme are really, in my opinion, applicable to the game. But yeah, it's all players are coached in the same detail, and and it's just like anything, you have to get them repped. You you have to get the timing down, and just like any play you call, offense, defense, special teams, it's got to look right, and it's got to the players got to have a full grasp of it before you call it in the game.
Does Kellen remind you of yourself when you were just getting into business as a play caller, just the things that he's trying to do?
Well, I think like everybody, he's his own man. I really enjoy his creativity and you know, in just the pure football sense. You know, he's a football junkie. You know, so and I think you definitely, if you're going to be a coordinator in this league, you have to be. You know, the resources for ideas and video are abundant than they were 20 years ago, and I think he does an outstanding job of utilizing his resources.
How much are you guys, when you watch games and you see a play, it's like, oh, mark that one?
Oh yeah, no, it goes on all the time. I mean, it's you know, college film. I mean, we you know, Texas high school film makes the idea video reel sometimes. So no, it's, you know, today's just so different. You know, because it's like I said, the resources are abundance and I think our guys, you know, particularly our younger coaches, do a great job of just always scouting, always looking, and you know, always building the idea tape.
Mike, what are your thoughts about your defensive tackle depth for this week?
Well, I mean, it's you know, I'm glad we have them all in house. You know, so it's you know, something that we'll continue to work today. And but yeah, I think like anything, we should have a good healthy rotation. I mean, ideally you like to have four bigs and 4 outside guys. So we'll probably be operating somewhere in that realm.
Yesterday, when asking about preparing for the Eagles defense and how it's different because they've got a new staff coordinator, is Fletcher Cox being asked to do anything differently, or is he just the same disruptive self?
I mean, outside of the, you know, the wrinkle that they showed against Atlanta, the 3-4, you know, the tight 3-4 tight front that they played, you know, you see a lot of the common, you know, assignments that he's playing in as far as the, you know, the 3 technique and particularly in their 4-man line, your fronts. So yeah, he's still very disruptive. Obviously, is a focal point for us.
How much do you expect Amari and or Donovan to be able to do today?
You know, Amari did a nice job yesterday, so I think he'll, you know, his rep count will be very similar to yesterday's practice, and Donovan won't do much outside of the rehab.
Wilson, is it something that,
I'm sorry, what was first?
with Donovan Wilson, is it something that rest is more important than kind of, it can be something aggravated if you go too early, like a hamstring kind of deal, even though it's a groin?
Well, I mean, it's, you know, it's definitely a, you know, it's a soft tissue injury, so you just got to be smart. And you know, he's in the rehab, you know, process with, you know, he's on the field with Britt, and that's, you know, that's always the last stage.
You mentioned earlier profile tapes. Is that something you guys put in your scouting reports of just like, here's some of the highlights of what these guys do? Absolutely.
I mean, you have a profile tape on every player that's you're competing against, and you know, I think it's pretty common practice. You know, I know it has been in my coaching experience.
Thank you.
Thank you.